Hello, everyone. Today is a special stream, which was not planned that much. So, we're gonna be talking about Red Dwarf prequel news. Is that right, Hawk?
Yeah. lovely prequel news of Red Dwarf for some reason.
Mm. I can't wait. I honestly have zero investment because I have no faith in them.
It's it's being written by Rob Grant, who was one of the original co-creators. It's just the fact that there's not much information about it, and it just seems weird that they've decided to do this.
Yeah, when they planning to make a new season? That's
Th-
the last news I heard of the Red Dwarf.
they've had to have some legal issues because Doug Naylor and Rob Grant have been in court over the rights of Red Dwarf.
Really
So
now?
yeah, they've because they split back in 1996, and obviously Doug Naylor stayed on to create the later series, and Rob Grant had nothing to do with anything after season 6. Um, but then Rob Grant obviously needs some money, so he's taken them to court over the rights, and they've come to an agreement. So Doug Naylor will do what he wants to do, but Rob Grant will also create his own branch of Red Dwarf stuff, and neither
Oh,
of them will.
so that's what they are. It's about. Okay.
Yeah,
Because I honestly can't really see that they would recast the whole staff of Red Dwarf because the other one has just worked so well.
um, it's not really like how do I say it's not really like a recasting because we don't know whether it's going to be a show, an audio book, or just a normal book that Rob Grant's doing. So you don't really know what the plan is.
Yeah, now that I think about it, it's probably going to be an audiobook.
Yeah, something like that. It's just the fact that it's just come up, and I've seen a lot of people's. One of the main reasons I want to do this talk with you is um, I'm part of a Red Dwarf fan group, and loads of people are excited about this prequel for strange reasons that I don't quite comprehend, and it just seems like I don't think they understand what the prequel will entail if it is created. So
I just don't know because I can't really imagine the prequel universe of Red Dwarf because like what really we like about it is like how much of the improv works
um,
and the kind of like crazy ideas that they went on with.
it's it's not even like I for me personally, I don't understand how a prequel would work because the story starts at its you know logical start. There's not really much before the start of Red Dwarf. Um, so obviously, for people who don't know about how it starts, it's literally they're on a mining ship, and there's a radiation leak that wipes out the crew, and only one person survives, called Dave Lister, because he was put in suspended animation for bringing a cat on board. And due to the radiation leak, Red Dwarf drifts for 3 million years into deep space. So Lister's like the last person, well, the last human in the universe, and so that begins his trek back home. Um, so there's so the story just starts at like the most important part. You know what I mean? It's like Dave Lister's a bum. He's had no
Yeah.
life before the accident, and it's like, well, what do you tell beforehand of his life? And so it's
There
just
isn't
weird.
really anything for that. Like maybe you can show like how Rimmer's years in the academy went
Well, but
or
what
how
do
it wasn't.
but you pretty much see like in the episode the end,
Yes.
which is the first episode. You see how that how their lives are sort of are. So you see Rimmer take his astro navigation exam and fail it. It just be back 11 times before. There's no, like, you've already seen it. It's listed as a slob. It's like, okay, what do you see? And it's like, oh, back his younger years. You have to remember that, like, Lister's 25 in at the start of the season. There's not much of a life
Yeah.
beforehand.
There
So
isn't anything like interesting enough for that because
you've got, I mean, what is it? Like, I put this post up, and people are going like, well, it'd be nice seeing how Lister and Rimmer interacted with each other before the accident. It's like, well, it'd just be exactly the same as they were after the accident. That's the
Exactly. Like there's enough comedy that you can do, and I think like they got bored of that after season two.
Hmm.
That there isn't much room for that because they might be like the crew, but isn't that like season 8?
Yeah, but even then they don't interact with the crew.
Yeah.
Um, so like I've seen a lot of people go, oh yeah, but you'll be able to see like Lister's relationship with Lisa Yates, the woman from
Nobody cares.
1920. It's like, yeah, but you saw that anyway
Yeah,
in
it
the episode.
wasn't that good.
No, it's not even that. It's like you saw it, and then people talk about, yeah, but then we'll see like how Lister, when he was younger, stole a whole hotel room. And it's like, yeah, but that was a joke.
If you don't
Like,
have to see it, this is
a
not The
throwaway
Simpsons.
joke. You don't have to see Lister, age 17, stealing a. No, or you could see him scrumping for cars. It's like, yeah, but that's another joke that we don't need to see.
You know what I'm like most scared of
Hmm.
is that they would recast Lister as that. Who played Finn in the
Oh,
Star Wars
Boyega.
sequels?
John Boyega.
John Boyega, yes. John Boyega is gonna be Lister. Because he can play a young man
Yeah,
who
sure.
can speak with a posh accent.
Yeah, sure. It just like, have you got the article about it? It's like,
Can you give me the link?
I'll see if I can find it. But it's well, the article's really
Well, I
just
think I get. It's on Discord, right?
yeah,
Let me get it.
yeah, you've got it there. So yeah, there's not. It's still in like obviously the beginning stages, but it's one of those where I'm like, a lot of people saying, oh, we should wait and see until it comes out, and I'm like,
How many times did we do that?
yeah, and it's like that news revealed at the what's it Q&A session. A short sizzle reel was screened for a project called Red Dwarf Titan, written by Rob Grant and Andrew Marshall. It's like, right, okay, this would be a prequel. Just scroll it down. You can scroll the article down. It's not coming. Because I'm trying to read it on two different things.
Okay.
This would be a prequel to Red Dwarf, apparently featuring young Rimmer and Lister, named for Saturn's moon Titan. It felt like it would occupy a similar space to the first section of Infinity Welcome Scaffold Drivers, while perhaps being a little more adventure focused. Now, the thing is, it's like people always mentioned the Infinity Welcome Scaffold Drivers part, but it's a small part of a larger novel. I don't think it'll hold people's attentions a full, say, if they made a novel of that sort of stuff. It just feels, I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking is going to happen with this, because I can't see anything interesting happening.
There's nothing gonna be interesting about this. Like, you can do a prequel to something like a series show, like Star Trek, for example,
Yeah.
or even Star Wars to an
Hmm.
extent. But there isn't anything interesting about the comedy prequel.
It's not that. It's the whole premise is the fact that Lister is a nobody and a slob
Yeah.
who by chance happens to be the last human in the universe. He's got Rimmer, who was a nobody in his previous life.
But they're gonna be cleaning vending machines. Isn't that
it's like,
awesome?
what happens? It's like, oh, but they're going on an adventure. It's like, so supposedly young Rimmer and Lister went on an adventure together and never mentioned it throughout the entire of the series.
It was so embarrassing, and then they went into a different dimension.
It's like, it's like someone put, oh yeah, but we'll get to see him interact like what they did in season 1 and 2. I'm like, well then just watch season 1 and 2. Why
Yeah,
would
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Like the creators after season 2, they realized that like these kind of jokes just are not gonna go well, so they have to like expand on this. Like they have to like travel to different like worlds,
yeah,
encounters.
the thing is, the reason why season 1 to 6 is universally loved is because of how well Rob Grant and Doug Naylor work together. Obviously, with the split, there's it's iffy. The less said about 7 and 8, the better. But I don't see how a prequel works. And the thing is, I'm trying to understand it from people who are excited. But the reason why I see people being excited is not because, oh, they think it's going to be good. It's more because, oh, we're just getting more Red Dwarf. And it's like, yeah, but we don't just need tons and tons and tons of crap. I mean, it could be fantastic. It could be one of the greatest things written. I'm just wondering where you go with it, what you could possibly even write about.
Well, like Robert was supposedly the one with more of a funny bone than Doug, right?
Rob Grant, yeah.
So, like in that aspect, I can see how this can work, but it's just way too late.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at what, 36 years later.
36 years later, so like the original cast is probably not gonna be involved as they are.
No, I mean, Craig Charles has come up to 60 odd now, so
Yeah.
because he was, like I say, he was 25 when the series started.
Yep.
So he was 25 in 1988. So quick maths.
You can't use cat. Crichton is no go.
Well, the thing is, so with the characters, it's like, okay, obviously Crichton isn't even built at that point, because he's built 4,000 years after Red Dwarf sets off, or 400 years after Red Dwarf sets off. Cat evolves 3 million years into the future, so he's a no-go. So you lose half the cast. Holly, if he's involved, is the original Holly before being senile for 3 million years. So he's a competent computer. So there's no link between them. So he's not the same as before. You're like, okay, and like say Lister, if it's from the books, Lister's only been on Red Dwarf for 6 months before the accident. And
so you have read this book?
I've read bits and bobs of all the books. There's numerous books, and so Lister's only on Red Dwarf to. He deliberately brings a cat on board so that he can get put into stasis, so he can get money without doing any work. And it's like, okay, and that's from Rob Grant's books and ideas and stuff. So is that what Rob Grant's going to allude to in like these new books with his prequels? Because it's like, okay, so he's put himself into a 6-month block, or are we going to pretend that Rimmer and Lister met each other before they joined the Space Corps together?
It's
this is what I mean. It's like you're trying to
mind-blowing.
Yeah, you're trying to think. I'm trying to think of what they could do, and all I'm coming up with possibly is law-breaking stuff that doesn't need to be made at all. Like it almost feels like whatever they make, you could slap another sci-fi show's title over it, and it'd fit perfectly in because it wouldn't be Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it into Red Dwarf.
Yeah, it's almost like saying like, how I always say, the sequel trilogy of Star Wars was another like movie idea, and they just slapped Star Wars on top of it. Because they needed to sell. This feels like Rob Grant had an idea for a book and went, "Oh, it's not going to sell, so I'll slap Red Dwarf on it."
Just to play around with the expectations. You were expecting a funny British show.
Mhm.
Instead, you got prequel about women.
Yeah, I mean, it goes like, um, no further information was provided, not even clear whether it be a TV series or perhaps a radio feed. It could even be a book or a comic. It's like, okay, so say it's not a TV show, say it's a book. Like, I don't think a book of young Rimmer and Lister is going to be as captivating as a book about the actual crew for fans of the show. Like I say, even though Infinity Welcomes Careful Drivers is a bit set, in the past, it's not the whole book.
It isn't.
I mean, and the books are so wildly different from the show anyway. It's like there's the crew die numerous times, horribly as well. So, like, I mean, best example is obviously the Better Than Life game because obviously in the show it's just a one-off thing and they get out, whereas in the books, like Blister and Cat are literally dying and stuff, and it's
What?
horrible. Yeah, they're starving to death.
Amazing.
Yeah, the
I
books are
can't
really,
wait to see
really
this
dark.
on the screen.
Yeah, the books are really, really dark.
What was Rob Grant's problem?
I think Rob Grant's
Oh.
incredibly cynical and nihilistic.
Oh, damn you, BBC, for giving me this flowery language.
But yeah, so I, what would you say if you were thinking of a prequel? What would you say um, could be something that could be brought forward? Because I don't want to be completely negative.
Oh, for
I
Red
just
Dwarf, or
yeah, for Red Dwarf, like say if they were going to do this, what would you think would be their direction for it? Because I just see it as being a nothing, but I don't want to be negative completely.
I would probably follow like another duo like Lister and Rimmer, but they only interact loosely with the comedic duo of Lister and Rimmer.
Mm-hmm.
But they have like similar like chemistry.
But again, that's
But because like the more you involve the original cast, the worse it will break the lore.
mm,
So like they would be by the end of the series, they would eventually just die, so they don't change anything from the lore that much.
I mean, Red Dwarf is definitely a bit of entertainment that doesn't have prequel potential.
It doesn't have
No, I
like you
mean,
really have to sneak it in.
not even that. It's like okay, they talk about some of their past life and stuff, but it's so generic, and a lot of it's just jokes and stuff. I mean,
Yes.
I saw one person going, "Oh, we could have the Peterson's uh, shoes. You know, the shoes that moved on their own."
Mhm.
Lister was making that joke about how Peterson bought some shoes and they ran off and died and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but that's just a random joke. That's why do we have to see that?
We don't have to.
I don't
Well,
see
maybe now we can see Winnie the Pooh getting hanged or shot at.
well, that happens afterwards. It's not a prequel. It's like, oh, great! I get to see Rimmer write "I am a fish" 400 times and do a funny little dance. It's like, okay, but we don't need to see that. This is what I mean. I don't. As a lifelong fan of Red Dwarf, I
But
don't
remember
see.
the time when Lister will eat the Windaloo?
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like the joke about obviously even like due to the canon changes with like Kachansky and stuff. The reason they Kachansky and Lister broke up is because they dated for 3 weeks and all they did have sex and sleep in a bed and eat sugar puff sandwiches. It's like, okay, what are you gonna do with that? Great, yeah, okay. Oh, we're gonna pretend that never happened. It's like, right, okay. If we go by the other canon, Red Dwarf doesn't really have canon, but the other original story of Lister and Kachansky had never even talked to each other. So they only shared
Yeah.
174 words.
That's my favorite version.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so like I say, Lister doesn't do much in his life.
He doesn't. He's a complete loser. Like
Yeah,
maybe even more than Rimmer.
yeah. At least Rimmer got promoted to second technician,
Yes.
somehow. But there's this is the thing about Red Dwarf is the character growth. They start from not blank slates, but they start from the bottom and they slowly grow as characters.
Yeah.
And that's the point. There's nothing before it because they're just whatever they are in the episode at the end. That's what they've always been. Lister has always been a slop. Lister has always had no real drive or goals, um, because he's lazy, but he's smart, you know, with stuff. But it's taken him being the last human on the universe
At
to
least the one
even,
that's alive.
to even like do anything to
Yeah.
improve himself. Heck, even then, it takes until season 10 for him to actually, finally become more than just a loser.
I never seen season 10.
Haven't you? Oh, well, he has a talk with his dad, who's also himself.
Oh no.
And he actually, tries to be a father to himself while also being his son.
Well, that's a big reveal.
Well, yeah, because Lister is his own dad, isn't he?
Yeah, yes. I think like that was from season 2, wasn't it?
No, he's also the mother of Jim and Bexley.
I missed that one.
In future, he gives birth in parallel universe. He gets pregnant.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so he gives birth to twins, but he's also his own dad. In season 7, like the episode Ouroboros, he finds out that he's his own dad and Kachansky is his mother.
But yes.
So he has to go back in time to place himself in a box underneath a pool table.
Yeah, and then now I remember. Now I remember. It's just like it was from the sped up season 3 intro.
Yeah, that's for the twins, but later on, obviously, Doug Naylor decided to make Lister his own dad.
That must be like attack on Rob Grant's as a character.
I don't know. All I'm
I want to
saying
believe.
is there's not much to, all the interesting stuff happens after the Cadmium 2 radiation leak that wipes
It
out the
does.
crew of Red Dwarf. There's nothing interesting beforehand.
There are some like very minor jokes, but like it's very generic, like sci-fi comedy.
I just don't see how anyone can do anything. But I'd love to see how, like, obviously I put this forward in what was this, like, Facebook group I'm part of, and people just seem to be like, yeah, but it's young Rimmer and Lister, they'll be able to like have banter with each other. It's like, right, okay, but why?
But that would get very flat after like 20 minutes. That's why they had to introduce like 2 more characters.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
not
there's
even
also-
2 more, but like 3, because like Holly as well.
Yeah, Holly's not even going to be in it because Holly's on Red Dwarf. And
Yes.
Holly also doesn't, if you notice in the very first episode, it's not until after the radiation leak that Lister even speaks with Holly.
Yes. Why
Because
is
Holly's
that?
well, that's because Holly's just a ship computer that has got a job. Whereas after the radiation leak, Holly's been on their own for 3 million years.
Yeah. The smartest computer in the universe.
So with an IQ of 6,000.
As a sex.
The same as 6,000 PE teachers. But no, like I say, I'm trying. I don't want to sound like I'm 100% negative, even though I am 100% negative on here. I'm just, it's just baffling to me.
Well, I see absolutely nothing potentially being made from this. Like,
No.
maybe he can crack a few jokes. I will give him that.
Probably. I'm just thinking, I, I'm trying. I'm really trying hard to think of anything positive you could make of it, but I just don't. I don't see it, and the reasons why people are getting excited over it, I'm just like, I don't understand. Um, like I say, if you just want to see Lister and Rimmer bickering, watch season 1, 2. You're not getting anything, new.
No, it already happened in the 80s.
Yeah, it's like, oh, we might go on an adventure together. It's like, well, just watch season 1 to 13 then. They go on plenty of
Yeah.
adventures.
In fact, I would say like the more grumpier they get, the more potential the comedy can get. Because like this is basically what Red Dwarf is about.
Yeah, exactly. The thing is, it's like, if you go back to before the accident, none of them have any character growth, and the characters
No,
aren't what we know. And it's like people people complained when Rimmer came back in season 8 and acted like his season 1 characterization.
is that like a legitimate criticism?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
and people are like, yeah, but he's not the same Rimmer, blah 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 blah. And yet we're coming up to 20 years later, they're like, yeah, but we want to see them before the accident when they're absolutely nothing like what we had. It's like, oh, okay.
yeah. This is like absolutely fitting for reverse 9/11, or more commonly known as European 9/11.
Yeah, I don't see anything positive coming from it.
No,
To be brutally honest with you, I'm more than hoping that Doug Nealer takes stuff on board and like creates a final episode for the
I
show.
want I want the duo to like reconnect, like Robin, Dog, and
It's not even that. I just want a finishing point
yeah,
where they can say that's it. The story's done, as in for that continuity. So that Lister, Rimmer, Crichton, and Cat, and Holly get like their ending,
yeah.
because wherever it's up in the air, we're just going to get more and more stuff, and the legacy's going to get tarnished.
It does. So the Promised Land isn't really an ending to the series.
No,
So it's
no,
just
not
a
at
silly
all.
adventure.
Yeah,
Oh,
they just bump into the cat people.
oh.
Yeah,
Well, another less loose end, I guess.
well, not really, because the cat people then start worshipping Rimmer.
Ooh.
It literally ends with them worshipping Rimmer.
It's-
As the story continues, and you're like, right, okay, Doug, I don't think the story should be continuing. They're all in their 60s. They need to end it.
It does, yeah. Well, Cat can still dance, maybe.
Oh yeah, Danny. The thing is, they're old, but they're not that old.
Yes, they're still not that old.
It's like you can tell the years are catching up, but it's not like they're geriatric and they're shuffling around.
Mm.
I mean, Danny John Jules has got still got moves, but then again, he was a dancer, so he's
He was a dancer, yeah. But you still got the style as well.
yeah.
No
I mean,
hair though.
he has to wear a wig,
Yes.
but so does Chris Barry.
Yeah.
Chris Barry wears a little wig on, and then it's funny.
It is. It's
But it's
just
also funny. It's also funny the fact that Craig Charles is the only one who's got his actual hair.
well, he kept it really well.
Hmm. I mean, obviously Robert Llewellyn, you can't tell because he's got that mask on, but he doesn't want to do Crichton anymore.
He doesn't want to.
No, guys, because he's getting fed up of the procedure to put the makeup on.
But I did hear in an interview that like the procedure got a lot shorter now.
Yeah, but it's still too long. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Because he hates putting the suit on. Like, he doesn't hate Crichton, but he hates having to put the suit on. You know what I mean?
I can totally understand.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But yeah, like I say, it needs to end. But prequels aren't the thing for a story that doesn't have prequel potential. But
It has zero potential for a prequel.
Yeah,
It's just the empty void, like the Red Dwarf itself, the universe.
yeah. I have to remember that if it's prequel to Red Dwarf, that's at the height of human civilization, quotation marks,
Yes.
aka the 1980s. Um, and it's just going to be a story about two really lowly people who do nothing.
Maybe this whole thing is just a prank. Like Rob Grant got all these rights
Mhm.
just as a paycheck.
Yeah. I mean, what was it like? The news follows recent settlement of a legal dispute. Moving onwards and upwards, Rob and Doug hope to launch separate iterations of Red Dwarf across various um, stuff. And I'm like, okay, it's a bit too late, guys. Really
Way too late. Maybe 20 years ago, instead of making season 8.
Maybe instead of like getting out, getting pissy with each other, and about actually just wrap up what you started.
That would have been good.
Well, I think we talked long enough about just crap.
Yeah.
Very,
If
boring.
only there was like more to talk about, but unfortunately there is barely any material for this.
I'm sure when it comes out, we'll be able to talk more about it. But I think just
I just wish it will never come out.
yeah,
It's just like I'm glad that Rob Grant is still alive and he's gonna get like a fat paycheck for this, but the world will be a better place with less shitty Red Dwarf episodes.
and yeah. I mean, I don't like I say. I'd love more Red Dwarf, but it's never going to be the same. It's never going to be what people
No.
remember it as. Season 1 to 6 is like lightning in a bottle. They've caught it that once and they've never got it back. As much as 10, 11, and 12 are interesting series, they're not that. Do you know what I mean?
Is season 9 shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
7, 8, and 9 are terrible. Season 10, 11, and 12 are okay. And the Promised Land is just a Promised Land.
Promised Land. It's so it's okay for the most part.
Yeah. There's a few nice callbacks, but all in all, Doug Naylor isn't very good at pacing. So things happen very quickly.
Yeah, I have noticed that. And he has an obsession of involving his son and their friends in the
Um,
production.
yeah, but his son's not the worst. His son's not the bad thing about it. His son is half decent when it comes to the Red Dwarf stuff.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he runs out of budget, so he has to wrap things up really quickly.
I wonder why that is a habit of his.
Well, let's put it this way: he ran over budget for season 8. To the reason why BBC didn't do a season 9 is because they just couldn't afford it.
They couldn't afford it. So that's why Rimmet dies and has to be killed by the... What was that? Grim Reaper?
I mean, he needs a Grim Reaper in the crotch, but yeah.
Yes.
Well, the story behind that is Doug Naylor wanted to completely destroy Red Dwarf as a TV series so he could make a movie. So that's why he just ended up like a massive cliffhanger, almost like a kill 'em all and no real ending.
Yeah.
But then he changed his mind after about 8 years of not getting any money for a movie. And I'm just like, right, okay, so you destroyed Red Dwarf for a decade. Cool, thanks, pal.
Well, it bite him back in the ass.
Yeah, but yeah, that's. I just think that's just a thought. When more information comes out, I can have we can have another discussion about it.
Another discussion, yes.
I
This
don't understand what people are excited about.
these streams are dedicated for Red Cat series, because Red Dwarf is also part of the Red Dead Redemption universe.
Yeah, I believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, what other Red things there are? There's also the Red movie, but with Bruce Willis.
No, we can't do that. He won't remember.
You won't remember. I wish we could do that with Red Dwarf sequels.
Yeah. If I could just forget 7, 8, and Back to Earth, I'd be a happy man.
It all ended at season 6.
Yeah. Oh, that's how I see it. That's how I see it. Season 6, they just
Yeah.
die.
I still like that alternative ending. That was very like Red Dwarf like. If there was like a worth a sequel to it.
Which one was that one?
Oh, when Rimmer saves the day and he
And
survives.
you're in Resight, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was all right. Yeah. Yeah, but I just class it as 1 to 6, and then
Yeah.
10
They should have got it.
I feel that just like an alternative version of them or something.
Yeah, but that's about wraps it up. Thank you everyone for joining us.
Yes,
And we'll see you next time when there's more news.
bye.
Bye bye.